Hey guys, it's Jen. I am here with the card reading for the full moon in Aquarius for August of 2021. My name is Jen Merkel. I am a light worker, which means I have dedicated my life to bringing more loving light energy into the world. And I really do hope that what I share with you today helps you on your life's journey. Now, this reading is for the full moon in August of 2021, but know that if the universe brought you here at another time, these messages are meant for you. Now, before I get to the reading, I want to talk a little bit about the full moon in Aquarius. If you've watched some of my past reading videos, then you probably know I usually just get straight to the reading and kind of pepper in the meaning of the full moon or the new moon, depending on what type of reading I'm doing. And I decided that I should probably spend a little bit more time talking about that. So if you want to skip ahead to the reading part, I'll go ahead and post a little graphic here giving you the timestamp that you can do that. All right, so about the full moon that we have coming up, this is August 22nd, 2021, and it's happening at 7:01 a.m. Central Daylight Time, so that would be 8:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it is the second full moon in Aquarius we have in a row, which is pretty interesting, right? So this is coming in right before the moon moves into Pisces, which is what we call a cusp, when it's right in the cusp there, right in between. So what this full moon is about are life events that are affecting us emotionally. They're coming to a close. There's going to be some completion there. Now, any full moon, no matter what sign it's in, will often, for a lot of people, bring a heightened energy, a lot more emotion. You know, we are 80% water, right? And the moon affects water. So if you find yourself getting a little bit more emotional around the full moon time, I know I do. I have a lot of water in my chart, even though it's not one of my main three signs, but I really do find myself getting a lot more emotional when it's the full moon out. Another thing about the full moon is we start our manifesting journey when there's a new moon. And as the energy builds up to the full moon, we're building up that energy for what we're manifesting. So when the full moon peaks, that's when we are reaping in the rewards that we've gotten from our manifesting efforts. And then also as the peak happens and then we start coming down the other side, that is when the energy starts to decrease and when it's time to release those things that no longer serve us. And then of course, because we have the full moon in Aquarius, I wanted to talk a little bit about what Aquarius is. And if you watch my channel, you probably know I talk about Aquarius a lot because I am an Aquarius sun. So as we go through future new moon and full moon readings, I promise I'll start giving the other signs a little more equality. But Aquarius is about intellect. We love, love, love to have highly intellectual and philosophical conversations. We love nonfiction. We love learning things. It's about increasing our intellect and our wisdom. Aquarius is also very independent. However, they tend to be champions for the community, like the world as a whole. They're working toward the greater good rather than the individual. That is one of the reasons why Aquarius is called the humanitarian. So you want to keep all of these things in mind as this full moon culminates, especially if you find yourself becoming a little more emotional and like, gosh, I don't know why I'm crying about this. Well, it's probably because of the full moon. All right, let's get to the reading. The cards I'm using for today, I'm going to cheat a little bit because it's Spanish and I can never remember exactly what it is. It's Tarot de el Dios de los Tres, which literally means Tarot of the Three Gods. By the way, if you are really interested in tarot and astrology and the moon and zodiac signs, you might be interested in a podcast that I co-host with my friend April Darley. It's called Spiritual Basics Podcast, and you can find it here on YouTube or any of your favorite listening platforms. I'll go ahead and link to it in the description. So I've already drawn these cards intuitively. I do sometimes use a spread, but today I just drew 4 cards. And the overall message is actually kind of cool how it worked together. So stay tuned for that. The first card that I drew is the Nine of Wands, and it's called Nueve de Bastos. My high school Spanish is coming back to me now. So the Nine of Wands is the next step after the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands, if you remember, I actually had that card in my last reading, which was for the new moon in Leo, and the Eight of Wands came up there, and here we have the Nine of Wands. So there's a progression there. Just a quick review, the Eight of Wands is about action and moving forward and taking action and a lot of stuff going on. And then here we have the Nine of Wands, which is the culmination of that, in the way that we're dealing from the effects and possibly the repercussions of things that we've had going on. So this card is telling us that our patience might be tested. We'll have to be persistent, and we'll have to continue to work hard even though we're pretty tired and possibly even beaten up, maybe even feeling kind of fatigued or battle worn, but just hang in there because there are good things coming. Nines are about being kind of almost at the end, like not quite complete, but really, really close. And an indicator of forward progression is the Ace of Pentacles. Ace is about new beginnings. Oh, by the way, this is As de Oros, in case you want me to continue to butcher Spanish on this video. So aces are about new things, and pentacles are about material things, money, things like that. So when I see the Ace of Pentacles, that is telling me that we're going to have some new opportunities coming our way with business or career. Maybe you have, let's say, maybe you lost your job because of COVID or some other reason, and you've really been looking, and you're in that Nine of Wands kind of point where you're like,
gosh, I tried so hard. Why isn't anything working?
Well, now we have this card, the Ace of Pentacles, coming through to say, just hold on because something good is going to be coming your way. However, something important to keep in mind is that you want to make sure that you are not trying to manifest these new things with a lack mentality or a desperation mentality, because lack and desperation are the things that block manifestation. So the message here I want to also convey is that you need to remain open and ready to receive everything the universe is going to be sending you. As a matter of fact, one of my daily affirmations that I say is, I am open and ready to receive all of the amazing things the universe is sending my way. By the way, if you don't already have an affirmation practice, I highly recommend it. That is my #1 way to manifest anything you want. And then the next card we have is the World, or El Mundo. And the World is about completion. This is the last card in the major arcana. If you didn't already know, the Tarot is about a journey from the Zero card, which is the Fool, all the way through a bunch of major lessons and transformations, and at the end you have the World. So this is the finish line, the ending point, completion, everything you've worked for coming together and finally being able to get over all that hardship that you've been through. It's the end of your journey, it's fulfillment, and it's about bringing everything to a close. And that all sounds really great, right? Well, along comes the Two of Swords. And you know, generally the Two of Swords isn't a bad card. Twos are about partnerships or making choices, and swords are about thoughts and intellect. So here, this card is coming in to say everything we've been through as far as this entire reading, you know, now you might have to make a really difficult choice. So moving back to thinking the first card we have, feeling beat up because we've been trying really hard and not getting anywhere, but then the promise of the Ace of Pentacles coming in to say, hey, don't worry, something's coming along, just keep it up what you're doing. And then the World basically confirming that, you know, soon it'll all be over. But then the Two of Swords coming in saying, even though you've gone through all this work, you are probably going to be faced with some sort of dilemma. For example, maybe using my previous example about losing your job and getting a new one, maybe this new job, you'll have to take a pay cut, or you'll have to work more hours than you wanted, or maybe do more travel and be away from your family a little bit longer. So these are some difficult choices you're going to have to make. So just keep that in mind. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to learn more about me, head on over to my website, jenmerkelhypnosis.com. You can schedule your own private reading or a free hypnosis consultation to learn more about hypnosis can help you. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next time.